Yeah.
Watch that video.
Link it above. All right, so
Can we have that on the intro?
welcome to another episode of Power Bourbon and a special episode. So if you've been living under a rock, which hopefully you haven't, but then
Brian?
yeah.
I've been trying to sleep under a rock as much as possible, given the nature of my life right now with a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old who is going through that lovely 4-month sleep regression. So we are getting about an hour and a half to an hour, 45 minutes of sleep, per interval over the night. So it's lovely.
So there's no excuse because even Brian knows this news, which is in 2021, there will be no George T. Stagg in the BTAC lineup.
Oh, no.
Now, apparently Buffalo Trace tried the bottles. I would volunteer next year, just to let you know. And they said that they were not up to snuff. And so I guess we're going to have a special E.H. Taylor Buffalo Trace edition, Stagg Lost Barrels. Who knows? We'll see what happens because Buffalo Trace is not going to just magically dump those barrels. Something's going to happen.
We'll never waste a
pick me.
moment here.
Right,
Pick me. Can I take a guess at what they're going to do?
Sure.
They're going to make a new rare release and increase the MSRP of the new release 25% above what George T. Stagg currently is, and create more profit and more demand simultaneously. Well done, Buffalo Trace. #capitalism.
Since there's no George T. Stagg in 2021, Chuck was gracious enough to send us his 2020 that he got a bottle of last year, which of course he's always willing to show and share with friends, which is why it's so low. Not that, he drinks all that himself. It's he can't get it till 2022 now. Yeah. So
he might have consumed that differently, knowing he would have to wait a whole nother year.
Yeah. So what we decided to do is try to figure out some great alternatives. So without Brian or I knowing, or Derek, who is one of our Patreon members, so we sent him this exact flight too. So Derek, I know you're watching. You can break out those bottles, start pouring, and then try along with us. So we are in orders from 1 to 5 here. But Chuck sent us somewhere in here, the Stagg, and then 4 other bottles that, might be better. We will see. Is Stagg the end-all be-all? Or with there not being a Stagg this year, can we find a good replacement?
I'm excited to try some things that I would probably never be able to afford.
Yeah.
Or find.
No, so that's the beauty of this. So, the Stagg's in here somewhere, but the other 4, you'll argue with me on a couple of them, but the spirit of those, you can find them somewhat regularly. And really, 2 of the 4, or 2 of the 5 are very readily available. You could walk into any reasonable liquor store and find them tomorrow.
Good to know.
I'll make
Number
sure.
1, is this not amazing on this nose?
Yeah.
The nose is very
You're getting
pleasant.
like a back note of nutmeg and cinnamon, but also like a little bit of a sweet caramely.
It's like melted butterscotch.
The nose just tastes like it just smells like fall. Like
that's perfect. It's like an apple pie, maybe without the apple necessarily, but the nutmeg and cinnamon notes that you'd expect on some fall dessert, fall cocktail.
Yeah. And I'll say up front, this is probably going to be a longer video. I will make sure to put chapters in it for each of these tasting notes on the flights, and then for the final reveal on the end, so you can skip around if you want, because Brian's probably going to be a little long-winded.
Never. The accusations, the unfounded, the well-founded accusations.
Oh my gosh, this one, so good. Lots of sweet butterscotch, vanilla notes. I'm going to go apple towards the end. I
really love the spice. Like it really kind of carries throughout with a little bit of the sweetness. It's really doesn't let you. The nose was awesome, and then doesn't let you down throughout. Like This is a good pour.
Is it almost like a cinnamon apple finish that you get? Oh,
Yeah.
Delicious.
I mean, if that's not the Stagg, I'm okay buying this all day long.
Yeah, right. On to number 2.
So, number 2, I get a little tobacco on the nose right there. Like it's a little bit older, a little bit leathery.
Burnt BMW seats.
Yeah, burnt BMW seats.
It's a little more subtle on the nose. It's not as not picking up as much.
There's a little bit, for me, a little bit of a toasted note.
Yeah, while the other one was kind of like more, almost like baking spice, like spice heavy. This is almost just like more of a forest cabin nose, like just. I feel like
I like where you're going.
Continue. I feel like I'm deep in the woods.
You are always deep in the woods, and it's hard for us to find you.
Marco.
I'm not saying bully.
You just did.
I mean, I can go with your deep in the woods because I get a little maple syrup in there on the palate that then goes to a nice spicy finish. But that's as close to the woods as I am.
I could go like a little like dusty, earthy, a little bit on the nose, perhaps.
All right, you guys are coming around. You're
like
coming
fall
around.
Leaves, like you dive into a pile of leaves that you just raked up.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Not as good as number 1, but it's good.
I would concur at this point.
Yeah.
I concur, Doc. Number 3. I mean, it hits me with a little bit of sweet caramel to start, and then I get a little bit of like a baked bread.
To me, so far, this is the weakest nose. Or the
I
most
agree with that.
delicate nose, I guess.
Delicate, yeah.
Because there's flavors there. They're just... The ethanol takes the forefront on this one. The defining characteristic of this one from start to finish, though, is I get that ethanol all the way through it. So to me, it's got probably going to be a higher proof, but I definitely get the ethanol on the nose, in the palate, and the finish. There's other notes in there, and it's good, but I can see the ethanol all the way through. Oh, so this one's the George C. Stagg. Good to know.
No. So what I was going to say is you said this is like barrel proof or higher proof, and I'm like, these are all high. George C. Stagg is 130. This one's 130.4 proof. So it's like I'm not going to put in a 100 proof bottle up against Stagg. So all of these are higher than 110. I think they range maybe from 115 up to 130.
Mm-hmm.
The finish on number 3 is very nice.
Yeah.
I will say, that's a nice finish.
I get a little bit I'm sorry, going back to the nose, just a little bit of a hay, grassy note, along with the ethanol.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've kind of transitioned here from number 1 to from that fall spice to number 2. I feel like it was more of an earthy, woodsy oak, and then number 3 we have more of that grass.
I'm going to go like a bitter dark chocolate on the finish.
I can go with that because I get
Dark
a little
chocolate,
bit of a
yes, that was
sweet,
it.
and then it's like transitions into a little bit of a drying finish, which almost reminds you of a little bit of a cocoa.
I was trying to identify what that was, TJ, and man, you just hit the nail on the head. Dark chocolate. That's exactly what that is.
I get to keep my spot.
So, although I have recently had COVID, so how reliable is that confirmation, sir? COVID.
Used to it through 2021. 2022, we might not have this conversation.
Number 4.
On to number 4.
Cherry. Lots of cherry.
Maker's cast strength. Boom.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
Bold move, Cotton.
I mean, to be fair, that would be an everyday that you could find, so... But that'd be a weeder, and I don't think Chuck could throw a weeder in with Rise. Who knows?
I don't know what goes up.
TJ, my man, coming through with this knowledge. Appreciation for my ability to put together a flight.
I never know what's going on in that head of Chuck up that head of Chucks, like
Chuckos.
Chuck.
So
I'm gonna go leather. There's definitely some leather, some sweet oak notes, some cherry. It's got a lot going on, and the ethanol is not overly present, which is good.
This is hands down the most complex out of the 4.
Yes, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's like all those things. It's like sweet, cherry, nutty, and there's still this like spice that comes through in the palate and finish too. That's reminiscent of number 1. A little bit on that spice, but I think I got 2 right now.
And the finish on number 4 here just lingers, not in an abrasive way, but just lingers really nice. Like if this is one of the ones that's maybe in my price bracket and available, I might have to go shopping tomorrow. This
is not in your price bracket. Guarantee it.
I think it's amazing, and that's just true of. Wow. I mean, it's some of these in general. It's just you get some of these higher proof points, and I've tasted 90 proof bourbons that have more of an ethanol forward notes than these barrel strength bourbons. And so that's maybe a PSA that it's like, hey, if you've tried some whiskeys and it's just like that's all I get is just this burn. It's like taste some different ones, taste some better bourbons. Like my guess is you just haven't tasted the best ones.
Yeah, I agree. And then the number 5 nose comes out and it's pretty strong.
Oh my, yeah,
that is
number 5 nose.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. That is a beautiful sniff right there.
So there's the slight hint of ethanol to let you know it's a high proof bourbon, but it is all vanilla, caramel. I'm gonna go a little cinnamon and then red fruit. So like some cherries, maybe a plum or a date back there. Like so good.
I definitely get a little bit of cherry, I think, to me for that fruit sweetness.
Yeah.
This has everything you love, TJ, in a bourbon, I think, on the nose. You love all those sweet notes, but then it also caters to Brian a little bit with that spice, I think.
Yeah. You just a hint of it. I'd say it's a little bit more sweet forward on the nose, but
oh wow. And then the palate and the finish just continue all of that, but bring in some like pepper spices, maybe a little leather and oak in there.
Oh, that's good.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I don't know what that is. But that's good. Oh,
like,
oh my gosh! So even as I'm sitting here, then the back end of that finish gets you. It like comes down, and then it's like you think it's gone, and just like boom, it comes back at you.
Yeah. So you've all had bourbons that hit like certain parts of your palate and everything like that. So like when we talk about like really viscous, oily mouthfeels, like it completely coats your palate. This is one of those. Like it hits everything. Oh man, like I thought it was gonna come down to 1 and 4, and out of the nowhere came 5, just like screaming to the front of the pack. Like sorry, 2 and 3. You don't.
Yeah, we can say at this point, like, it's between 1, 4, and 5, right?
Yes, agreed.
Derek, I hope you're enjoying along. And once again, thanks for being a Patreon. If you want to support our channel, we would greatly appreciate it. Join our Patreon community, everything like that. We send out samples all the time to these guys. Coming up here, we're gonna do rye flight because Chuck, doesn't think that he likes rye. And spoiler alert, I think he found some rye he likes.
They forced me. I was forced.
Yeah, rye not. You know what I'm saying? Rye not.
So naturally, we had to send those to Ed because we knew Ed wouldn't like a George T. Stagg. Well, actually, we knew he would, but he's a Dodgers fan and they beat the Cardinals. So yeah, Ed. That's what happens.
Did I actually send you the rye flight, Ed, or did I just send you Henderson's?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Check out the future video.
Or did we sneak in one Henderson with that rye flight? We'll find out.
I mean, there's a key, or there's a, like, I would never buy Henderson, Ed, so you're safe.
Yeah. I've got my order. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. So last place.
I think we're all going to be different.
I would say last place we all agree is 2 and 3, right?
Yes, I had 2 as last place. I had 3 as 4th.
I had 3 and then 2.
3 and last, 2 is 4.
Really?
All right. So what is 3, Chuck? Drum roll.
3. This hurts me a bit.
It's MGP or barrel.
Discovery?
Oh, no
Which
way.
one? 4?
Which
This
one?
is Discovery number 4.
Wow.
If you said Discovery 2, I was going to be absolutely shocked.
That is.
No, I mean 4 in
4
blinds
is the
of
best.
just Discovery.
that's true. That's
4
true.
is won multiple times, so it's not just
Okay.
one. So yeah, this is the best of
Wow.
the Discovery series. So this is Bardstown Discovery series, coming in at 115 proof.
Wow.
This one's a mix of all Kentucky, so no MGP actually in this one.
Mhm.
But so obviously Discovery 4, it'd be hard to find this on the shelf. But I was thinking, in the spirit of it, it is, Bardstown Discovery Series is they release multiple Discovery Series each year, so this is something that you could easily, or with a little work, could find. Maybe not
Yeah.
all geographies, I understand that, but this 4 has been our favorite, and it did not fare well. It was
No.
disappointing from the nose in relation to these other 5. I mean,
All right.
really, I love the pour.
All right. What's 2?
Brian, you ready for this? This is just Old Foe 1920.
Wow.
Oh,
Yep, just good old 1920. Readily available, $50 to $55, depending on where you are. They're coming in at usually, this is 115 proof. Again, good. I'm not, I guess, too surprised by this.
Yeah.
It's not hanging with some of these others. Certainly a really great pour every day. I call it an everyday drinker. Maybe not for everybody else.
again, like when we had all 5 here, we weren't feeling like, the 2 and 3 were less, but we didn't feel like they didn't belong. If that makes sense. And so, that's just a testament to 1920 that it's a very solid pour for that price point.
3rd place. What are we going with? I'm going 5. I know it's probably not agreed with everybody.
I'm going 1.
Okay, so as a tiebreaker, I'm going 5 as well. It was TJ agreed that it was the ethanol burn that kind of started to separate the 2, from the 3. I love the nose, love all those notes that we described when we were tasting it. And this is a fantastic pour. But yeah, I'm going 5. This is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batch C920.
Oh.
Which one?
Dang.
C920. So this is last year's
Okay.
batch C that we thought was the best of 2020. Now, a lot of people thought batch B was, but they were really close, I think, between B and C. We liked batch C a touch better. So yeah, this is batch C920.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof coming in. That was great because, I'll be honest, between 1, 4, and 5 here, I'm close. I don't know where you guys are on 1, 4, and 5. The difference
Really close.
between
The difference
these
between 2 and 3 was drastic between 1, 4, and 5.
Yes.
is so close. So knowing that, boom, you can get Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that's hanging with George Chief Stagg and whatever else is yet to be revealed is
Apparently it's a cheap bottle, so I'm just excited.
apparently it's a cheap bottle. I'm itching to find out because that means I can buy it maybe.
Mhm.
So let's continue.
What is that? 2nd place? I have number 4 for me.
What?
I know you both have number 4 as 1st place. So
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
What is it?
What is number 1?
This is the cheapest bottle of the lineup. This is Wild Turkey's Rare Breed.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yep.
And that's
Wow.
probably why it's my number 1, because I love me some Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rare Breed. The fact that you're even debating this right now. The fact that you could, some people on this, they're watching, you might be like, I can never find Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Fair enough. Even in Champagne, when it is released, if you're not at Benny's, the day of, it's gone. You gotta really hunt. rare breed sits on the shelf all the time. Like literally, you can always find rare breed. So, I mean, the fact that this is the top 3 of this lineup, along with the Discovery Series and Old Phone Night, like, wow. Yeah. If this is on your shelf, shame on you.
Chuck and Brian's number 1 is the George T. Stagg.
Boom.
Which I mean, I guess is a good thing. It shows, it still hangs.
Still hangs. Yeah. We found some good alternatives, I think, tonight. Of course, this is the 2020 batch. They vary year to year. And they, our palates might vary night to night. And that's not to say that there's not other bourbons out there that we wouldn't have chosen over George T. Stagg, but tonight we really tried to line up things that were mostly available that you could find. And I think we found some really good contenders.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing that if you want to start a whiskey collection and you're not willing to drop crazy amounts of money, which you shouldn't be when you're starting out to get a George T. Stagg, because you're probably not going to get it at the local liquor store. You're going to have to pay it on secondary. Don't do that. Like, again, if you've watched us enough, we are not proponents of the secondary market. Go buy a rare breed. Go buy a 1920. Splurge a little bit. Buy a Discovery Series. They change all the time. Try different stuff. I mean, you can buy a Discovery, a rare breed, and a 1920 for the same cost, if not cheaper, than you would get a George T. Stagg on the secondary. And you got 3 bottles for the price of 1. There's a lot of great stuff out there. Explore, try. There's no George T. Stagg this year, but there's other great bottles. So, yep. Keep hunting. I'll keep drinking my rare breed, and we'll see you next time.
Our bourbon.